time to meet the men from the Ministry. We're about to strike more low notes in high places with Norma Ronald, Ronald Baddiley, John Graham, Hilary Pritchard and the men from the Ministry, Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. It's a busy life in the General Assistant's office, a constant round of problems, decisions, experiment and effort. But in the end, there's the feeling of achievement. Something attempted, something done, has earned a night's repose.
Well, Joe, you've done a good day's work.
Thank you, One. I must say it hasn't been easy. Breaking new ground, probing beneath the surface.
Never mind, it was worth it. I've never seen our window boxes looking so neat.
The whole of Whitehall's gone window box mad this year.
Yes, yes.
They've got some remarkable creepers at the Foreign Office.
No doubt the Arts Council will have their usual display of pansies.
I believe the Minister of Welsh Affairs has a leak in his window box.
Two, these things that you've planted are lobelia and fuchsia, aren't they?
No, I was going to send off for some of those, but then I found I couldn't spell them, so I ordered tulips.
Oh, I see. Well, you've got some bulbs left over. Perhaps we could plant them in the office.
It would need somewhere very quiet, where they won't be disturbed.
Yeah, well, let's get some earth and plant a few in my in tray.
And if I take my washing out of the fire bucket, we could put some in there.
Splendid. Now, what about the pots with the hyacinth bulb?
They need to be out of the light. We'll keep these blue ones behind the curtain.
Good thinking, yes.
I'll put a note for the cleaners in case they move them.
Right.
There we are. We'll be better off behind the curtain. And those red ones can go under the desk.
Well done, well done. Now, is there any more work to do, or should we toddle off home? It's gone 3:30, you know.
Well, there's that top-secret job for the Ministry of Defence.
Oh, is there?
You remember we had to cost that big NATO exercise, but I can't understand the figures.
Then do what we usually do with public money. Think of a number, double it, add 3 noughts, and stamp it agreed.
Good idea.
Excuse me, sir. I thought I should warn you. Sir Gregory's on his way over.
The Permanent Under-Secretary? But we've done nothing wrong this week.
Mind you, it is only Monday.
He rang to ask if you could spare him a couple of minutes.
Did he? He's not normally as civil as that.
Well, he didn't actually quite use them words. What he actually said was, are them 2 layabouts in?
That sounds more like Sir Gregory.
Mind you, he hasn't bothered us much lately.
Well, he's been off on that fact-finding tour, hasn't he? Studying heavy industry in Capri.
And no doubt with Miss Bentwater from the typing pool to take down everything he said.
Now they're back, he's given her a fur coat.
Ah, something to keep her warm.
No, something to keep her quiet.
Right. I want a word with you two.
Hello, Sir Gregory.
Have you costed that NATO exercise yet?
We're just putting the finishing touches to it.
Good, good, because you're both to go off on a course.
That's very kind of you, sir. We could do with a rest.
A rest? You don't know what good hard work is.
What good is it?
Now, this course will be different from previous ones. You'll be living in, for a start, at a large country house in Surrey, a place called Surley Manor.
Oh, and what is the purpose of the course, sir?
Well, it's to find bright administrative talent and develop it for leadership.
Ah, yes. And you've recognized our potential, sir?
No, you're the only people with nothing to do, so you're to make up the numbers.
Thank you very much.
2 men dropped out at the last minute. You're a late addition to the course.
Do you think we'll enjoy it there, sir?
I don't know, but I'll enjoy it here. You'll be out of my hair for 7 whole days. Somewhere where you can't possibly do anything wrong.
Oh, look at the time, too. Do you realize we're 7 hours late? That's a splendid start to a leadership course.
Anyone can make a mistake.
I certainly made a mistake. I should never have allowed you to navigate in the first place.
Well, all those maps in the car. How was I to know I was looking at a map of France?
Now, what's round this bend? Ah, a T-junction. Now, which way do we go? Left?
Right.
Right.
No, left. I mean, you were right. What a rude gesture. We didn't ask him to drive into the hedge. I think he called you a road hog.
You should have called him a hedgehog. Oh, dear me. Well, now then, wait a minute. This is Oaf Lane, yes. And that, the sign says Surley Hall. Ah, well, we're here at last.
Thank heavens for that. funny. I thought Sir Gregory said Surly Manor.
Oh, well, I expect they use both names. Anyway, we haven't time to check, thanks to your bungling. Right, well, let's go in and see. Now, straighten your tie, too.
Ready, are we? Everybody seated? Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Surly Hall Health Hydro. My name, by the way, is Hale, and this is my colleague, Mr. Harty. And we shall be looking after you and trying to make your stay as beneficial as possible. While you're here, you'll be devoting your time to meditation, contemplation, yoga, rejuvenating exercises, and starvation. I would just ask you not to exercise in the nude on the East Lawn. There's a civil service course next door at Surly Manor, and we wouldn't want them peering at our calisthenics.
Good evening. My name's Lennox Brown, and this is Richard Lamb. We're here for the course.
Oh, yes?
We're sorry we're late, but I took the wrong map and he took the wrong turning, and he wished he hadn't done it in the first place. And this lorry driver got awfully annoyed just after we'd gone round the bend.
My junior colleague is trying to say that we're a late addition to the course.
Oh, that would explain why your names are not on my list. Obviously, a delay in the post. Yes. Well, not to worry. You're very welcome. Very.
Thank you very much.
Yes, not at all. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to be in bed by 8. You have a strenuous day tomorrow.
Don't we get anything to eat? I fancy a nice thick steak.
Oh, well, you won't get one here, I'm afraid, and the evening snack's already been taken. Why don't you try a little yoga before you turn in?
Better than nothing, I suppose. Have you got strawberry flavour?
I'm sorry.
So, my dear sir. Oh, come along, too. You've made enough trouble for one day. Get to bed like the man said.
I must say, one isn't at all what I expected. My room was like a cell, and I had to lie on the floor.
Spend the night on the floor?
It was softer than the bed.
Well, don't forget, they're selecting future leaders. I expect they're assessing character and discipline. A week of this, and we'll be ready for promotion. And extra luncheon vouchers.
It wouldn't be so bad if they gave us a proper breakfast. One piece of bread and butter. And that was as thin as a paper doily.
Oh, don't be daft, too. That was a paper doily. Your breakfast was on the plate. A slice of lemon and hazelnut.
I thought that was the pattern on the dish.
Good morning, gentlemen. I'd like you to join the others downstairs. We're going to have an hour's contemplation.
Contemplation?
Well, you know the sort of thing, too. Just sitting staring into space, keeping the mind blank.
Oh, well, I suppose it's better than doing nothing.
Actually, Mr. Hale, you'll find we're quite skilled, you know, in the art of contemplation.
But, of course, contemplation has to be augmented by physical effort.
Oh.
Now, I've brought a tight list of exercises you must carry out each day.
Oh, exercise 1, the handstand. This looks rather tricky.
Well, it's just standing on the hands with the feet in the air so the blood rushes to your head. Does marvels for the brain.
What, a head full of foot blood?
Ideally, of course, you should do these exercises in the nude.
Oh, I'd rather not if you don't mind. Nudity leaves me cold.
We must free the body to free the mind, Mr. Lamb. However, a light garment may be worn. A loincloth will cover your requirements.
Exercise 2 involves hopping over a rope, I see.
Yes, a lot of people skip that, but I would like you to do it if you can.
Yes.
After your week here, you'll find you're a better person physically and mentally, ready to help and lead your fellow men in the quest for the highest ideals. After our contemplation, we're off on a cross-country run.
I must say it's a very odd way of training civil servants. Cross-country running, standing on our heads.
That'll be for the next time the government reverses its policy. Well, it's obviously all some trendy new technique.
Well, I'll be glad when we're back in the ministry.
Yeah.
I wonder how they're getting on without us.
Yes.
Good morning, Lord Stilton. Do come in, sir. And what can I do for you?
Oh, thank you. I'll have a large one and just a dash of soda. You don't seem very busy, Pitkin.
Yeah, I was just snatching a break, sir. Having a read, as a matter of fact.
Oh, yes. This magazine with Bell on the cover. And no cover on the cover.
No, not. Coming quiet on this. Possibly my secretary is a funny woman, yes. No, I have been reading that book you lent me, Vipers in Our Bosom.
Oh, yes, the one about spies and defectors in government circles.
That's right, sir. Oh, your drink.
Oh, thank you. A fascinating book, what? Shows there are traitors everywhere.
Yes.
Let me have the book back as soon as you finish, will you? The PM's very keen to read it.
Very good, sir. If I get the end by Friday, I'll leave it on my desk here so you can collect it on Monday. I shan't be in till Wednesday. I'm taking a long weekend.
Oh, lucky fella.
Well, a working weekend, of course. I find I work better in the country where I can get some peace. I've just bought this cottage in Sussex, and I take my papers down there.
Oh, very commendable, very commendable.
I may get a girl from the typing pool to come down and handle my memos. There's one who often helps me out when I need it. Hello, Pipkin here.
Sybil Tanner speaking. I'm running the civil service course at Surley Manor.
Ah, you're Miss Tanner from Surley Manor.
You nominated 2 executives, Lennox Brown and Lamb, as a late addition to the course. We're wondering why they haven't arrived. They were due 2 days ago.
Haven't arrived? Well, that's odd. They left here. I know. I had an extra brandy to celebrate.
Well, perhaps you'd be kind enough to let me know what's happened to them.
Certainly, madam. I'll ring you back. Goodbye. Lennox Brown and Lamb haven't turned up for that course at Surley Manor.
That's strange.
I'd better go along to their office and see if the secretary knows anything.
Yes, well, I'll come with you, Pitkin. We must get to the bottom of this.
I can't understand it at all. Hello? There's no one here.
Well, curiouser and curiouser. I hope they haven't defected to the east, what?
No chance of that, sir. Not Lennox Brown and Lamb.
You're convinced of their loyalty?
No, sir. They haven't got the brains.
Just a minute, Pitkin. There's a note on the table. Good Lord, man. Look at this.
We'll be better off behind the curtain. Good grief, they have defected. They're fleeing behind the Iron Curtain.
And it seems to be signed, Reds under the desk. Oh, they've been quite blatant about it.
I should have guessed, of course. All the signs were there. Lamb wore a Cossack hat last winter.
Oh, Sir Gregory and Lord Stilton.
You're late, Miss Muffin.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sir Gregory, I overslept.
Indeed. You'll sleep at home as well.
Miss Melvin, Mr. Lennox Brown and Mr. Lamb have disappeared. They haven't turned up at their course.
Oh.
It's a very serious matter. What was their attitude like in the last few days before they left?
Yes, were they behaving strangely?
Yes, sir, everything was just as usual. They were busy with the plans for the NATO exercise.
The NATO exercise? Great heavens, it's worse than I thought.
Oh, they had the NATO plans, and they saw the chance to make a break for it. Just like that other pair. The Foreign Office sent them to Paris, and they quietly diverted to Moscow.
Do what?
Miss Muffin, we have reason to believe that Lamb and Lennox Brown have gone over to the other side.
You mean joined the Young Liberals?
No, damn it, they've defected. Fled behind the Iron Curtain. Oh, be quiet, child. Lord Stilton, we must get on to MI5 at once.
I can't take much more of this one. If I don't get a square meal soon, my stomach will forget what to do.
Stop fussing, too. It's just as bad for me.
It isn't. You ate half my lunch when I wasn't looking.
I was merely trying to help. I thought 2 grapes might be too much for you. And by the way, too, I wish you'd been more discreet. Fancy interrupting this afternoon's meditation session like that.
I thought I heard Indian music.
Yes, so you said. Everyone else knew it was my tummy rumbling. Now stop moaning, will you, and switch on the radio and we'll get the news summary.
Oh, all right.
Meanwhile, the search continues for 2 civil servants who are thought to have defected with vital military secrets. Their names have so far been withheld, but it's feared there's a danger of plans for the forthcoming NATO exercise being leaked to a foreign power. Tight security is being observed on the whole case, and a government spokesman, who refused to give his name, said he had nothing to say. He later declined to confirm this. There'll be more news at 7 o'clock.
Did you hear that, too? 2 civil servants have defected.
I wonder who it is.
Just a minute. He said they were after the NATO plans. They're the ones in our office, aren't they? Well, where did you leave them?
Don't worry, One. I put them in the safe next to your plimsolls. They'll be all right there.
They won't be all right there. There's no door on our safe.
That's the point.
Look, we must get back to London at once. First thing tomorrow, we'll get to the office and make sure those plans are still there.
But tomorrow's Saturday, One. I don't like going to the office on weekdays. I couldn't go on a Saturday.
This is a national emergency. We haven't any option.
And what about this course?
Oh, hang the course, too. I've had enough of it anyway. Get your things together and we'll creep out under the wire.
Actually, it's quite fun being in the ministry when it's empty, isn't it? There isn't a soul in the place.
That's no excuse for your sliding down the banisters. I wonder you had the energy after our stay at Surley Hall.
I think it's made me more agile, one. I've kept that portfolio of exercises Mr. Hale gave me.
You must be a glutton for punishment.
He said they'd make me a different person.
Oh, in that case, keep them up. Yeah. Here we are then. Now, let's hope and pray the native stuff is still in the safe.
Yes, well, it won't take long to find out. Yes, it's here, one. Just where I left it.
Thank heavens for that. Now, look, I'll leave a note for Mildred. She can send it to NATO HQ first thing on Monday. Then we shan't have to worry.
Good idea, one. Isn't it awful to think there are traitors at the ministry? I wonder who they are.
They penetrate the highest circles, too.
I saw a film where the whole staff in an office were under suspicion. And in the end, it turned out the traitor was the man at the top.
Oh, you mean like Sir Gregory, huh?
Yes. I say, that's the thought, isn't it? Sir Gregory Pitkin, the spy in black pinstripe.
I say, it couldn't be Sir Gregory, could it?
What?
Well, I mean, he acts very strangely sometimes.
And he's been spending more money lately. You remember Splinter Woodcock's retirement present?
Yes.
When they brought the collecting box round, Sir Gregory put in twice what he usually does.
Are you sure, too?
Yes. I saw the tuppence in his hand. Do you think we ought to investigate one?
You mean go along to Sir Gregory's office and pry around? Take advantage of the fact that he isn't there?
That's right. We could go through his drawers.
Two? That would be a betrayal of trust. Heaven knows what personal stuff we might find. On the other hand, of course, I mean, if the national interest demands it,
He'd never know, would he?
Come on. Let's go and have a look round.
Yes.
Bring the paper knife. Some of his drawers might be locked.
Right.
But remember now, we're only doing this from a sense of duty.
My word, man, Sir Gregory really does himself proud, doesn't he? What a splendid office. 4 cocktail cabinets, colour TV, and a wall-to-wall desk.
Yes, that divan looks rather comfortable.
I expect that's for Miss Bentwater when she wants to lie down for a bit.
No, there's nothing incriminating in Sir Gregory's work tray. In fact, there's nothing in his work tray at all. Just a membership card to the Stripperama Club.
Well, look at that book on his desk. Vipers in Our Bosom, Famous Spies of the Civil Service.
Good Lord! He must be interested in that sort of thing, you see.
What?
And just a minute. There's a note sticking out in Sir Gregory's writing.
What does it say?
I've come to the end. This book has given me food for thought. I'm off to the country where I'll find some peace. Good grief, too. You see what this means?
Yes, man. Well, I think I do.
The country where I'll find some peace. This country isn't good enough anymore. He's fleeing behind the Iron Curtain.
They said 2 defectors on the news, didn't they?
No doubt Sir Gregory's taken Daphne Bentwater. One word from him and she'd drop everything.
Do you think we should do something?
Well, of course we must do something. Tell the Home Secretary. Get him on the phone. I'll look round the office for any other incriminating evidence.
I rang the number you gave me, one, but the Home Secretary's away. I left a message on his recording machine.
I'm glad, in a way, the Home Secretary wasn't there.
Really?
Of course, Sir Gregory's wrong to defect, but we can't just throw him to the wolves. We must try and save him from himself. I mean to say, he can't be all bad.
The bits I've seen look pretty awful.
There may still be time to pull him back from the brink. If he hasn't yet fled the country, perhaps we can talk him out of it.
But we don't know where he is. He won't be at his house in Hertfordshire. His wife's always there at weekends.
Now, where's his address book? He's got a cottage somewhere in Sussex. If he's still in Britain, I'll bet he's there. Yeah, this is it. Look, I'm sure this is it. Look, The Nest, Little Groping, Sussex. Right, let's get down there at once.
Well, what do you think of the cottage, Daphne? Quite a view, eh?
It's a lovely garden, Sir Gregory.
Oh, now, there's no need to call me Sir Gregory here. We're quite alone. You can use my special name.
All right, then. Funny. But you are naughty.
Me? Well, I haven't done anything, so far.
You told me to take off my clothes and come out here for a swim. But the swimming pool hasn't been built yet.
Well, no sense in waiting to the last moment. Well, why don't you join me in my double hammock? I had it specially made, you know.
But won't it throw us together?
With a bit of luck, yes. Now, come along, my dear. Up you get. That's the way. That's it. Now, just relax. Enjoy the sunshine.
You know, Bunny, you look quite handsome after a few drinks.
Yeah, I haven't had any drinks, my dear.
No, but I have.
Oh, what a witty little pixie you are, to be sure. Oh, and what a perfect afternoon. You wouldn't think Whitehall existed. The trouble and toil. Lamb and Lennox Brown defecting. All forgotten. Just you and me and the song of the birds.
Oh, isn't that a lark up there?
I do believe it is. And, talking of larks, I've got an idea. Now, why don't we just sort of...
There are too many in those bushes.
What? Oh, take no notice, my dear. I expect it's the vicar and his friend. They go bird-watching, you know. Daphne, my little lotus blossom. If I said you've a wonderful figure, would you hold it against me? You tantalizing minx, let me...
They look like bird watchers. They're wearing bowler hats and carrying umbrellas. Well, look, now they're running across the lawn.
Don't do it, Sir Gregory. We know what you're planning and it's wrong.
We've come to save you from yourself.
What? What the devil you...
Look out, Bunny! The hammer!
Ah!
Sir Gregory, it's no use hiding in the stinging nettles. We're here to have it out with you.
Lennox Brown, Lamb, you traitors, how dare you?
Stay where you are, Sir Gregory.
Oh, you're armed, I suppose. Well, there's no need for violence. No need at all. If you're after secret documents, I've plenty in the cottage.
Why didn't you overpower them, Bunny? You told me you were good at karate.
I don't want to hurt them, my dear. Oh, I know they're traitors, but remember, they were on my staff.
What do you mean, traitors? You're the traitor, Sir Gregory.
We know you're planning to defect. We came to drag you back from the brink.
Is this some devilish trick, Lennox Brown? You're the ones MI5 are looking for. You disappeared with the NATO papers, and now you come here armed to the teeth and threaten me.
Armed? We're not armed, Sir Gregory.
You're not armed? Right, that's different. Daphne, I'm going inside to phone the police. You stay here and guard these men.
But suppose they get violent.
That's a risk you'll have to take, for the sake of the country.
No, look here, Sir Gregory.
Here's a pitchfork, Daphne. If they look like trying to escape, give them a prod in the national interest.
It was one of the worst experiences of my life, Mildred. We were kept in a police cell for 5 days.
They grilled us continuously to try and break our story.
They stood me against a wall and shone bright lights in my eyes.
Whatever did you do?
A good question. He thought it was more of his amateur theatricals and gave them a chorus of Galway Bay.
The head of MI5 came to see us in person.
Luckily, we were able to convince him we'd gone to that hydro by mistake. In the end, he seemed quite impressed.
Impressed?
Yes, he said it was clear we were complete nonentities. He told us we could go. In fact, he helped us down the front steps.
Well, we'd better get back to normal as quickly as possible. You sent back the plans for the NATO exercises?
Yes, sir. First thing Monday.
Good.
Just a minute, Mildred. You can't have sent back the NATO plans. They're still here in the safe.
I did send them off, Mr. Lamb. They was in a blue folder on your desk. It said exercises on the front.
A blue folder? They were the exercises Mr. Hale gave me, the ones from the health hydro.
What? That rubbish about yoga and loincloths and contemplation? Mildred, you must get it back at once.
It's too late, sir. The NATO exercise has begun this morning.
Using the plans in the blue folder. What on earth can the troops be doing?
And here is the news read by John Curl. There were unusual scenes on Salisbury Plain at the start of today's NATO exercise. The Prime Minister took the salute at the opening march past and seemed surprised when the procession was led by the Royal Marines, clad only in boots and loincloth. They were followed by troops from the Royal Scots Guards. These men wore kilts, but broke with tradition by doing handstands in front of the saluting post. The Women's Royal Army Corps then skipped across the parade ground in the nude. The Prime Minister said he was very impressed, but he was unable to present their commanding officer with a medal as he couldn't find anywhere to pin it.
I say,
Weren't the authorities furious?
Well, oddly enough, they weren't, Mildred. Apparently the whole exercise did wonders for army recruiting.
And the film of the opening ceremony is making a fortune in the West End. The Ministry of Defence may show a profit this year.
Well, I never. But what I don't understand is why this should happen to Sir Gregory.
It was when we thought he was a spy, you see. We rang the Home Secretary, but he was away. So we left a recorded message.
He heard it when he got back on Tuesday and acted on it immediately, you see.
And poor Sir Gregory copped it.
He was foolish enough to resist arrest and became extremely abusive.
Evening all. You can come through and visit the prisoner now. Remember, you've only got 3 minutes.
Thank you, Constable. I think one will be enough.
Here he is. Ugly brute, isn't he? I shouldn't go too near the bars.
Hello, Sir Gregory. We've come to see you again.
I'll leave you now, then.
I can't take much more of this. I've got to get out of here.
Try to relax, Sir Gregory. You've done a beautiful job on that mailbag.
Have you brought it?
Brought what, sir?
The file, man, the file. I asked you to make me a file.
Oh, the file, yes, I remember that. I've brought you this nice, strong cardboard one. It'll keep all your papers in order.
Good grief, man, not that sort of file.
Muddling through as the men from the Ministry were Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. Also featured were Norma Ronald, Ronald Baddiley, John Graham and Hilary Pritchard. The programme was written by Edward Taylor and John Graham and produced by Edward Taylor. Time to meet the men from the Ministry. Join us now for more low notes in high places with Norma Ronald, Ronald Baddiley, John Graham, Hilary Pritchard, and the men from the Ministry, Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. In the General Assistance Department, as in other government offices, senior officials work long hours at high pressure. It's hardly surprising if sometimes the pace begins to tell and a top executive has a day off sick. On his return, anxious colleagues look to see if all is well.
Oh, you're back, Joe. Yes, feeling better?
Yes, thank you, Ron. Oh, I woke up yesterday with a ringing in my ears, so we had the doctor round, and he said he didn't like the look of me.
That's understandable.
He ordered a week in bed and said he'd call and see me every day.
You thought it was serious?
No, he thought I was a private patient. When he found I was National Health, he gave me half an aspirin and sent me back to work.
Well, you look all right, I must say. What about the ringing in your ears?
I realised later it was next door's phone. They've only just had it installed.
Silly of me to ask.
Did I miss anything? Mildred says we've got a new job. Something about old relics.
We've been asked by the Ministry of Arts and Sciences to help set up the new exhibition at the British Museum. Antiquities of Ancient Egypt.
I say, sort of son of Tutankhamen.
Well, you might put it like that. If you were feeble-minded. Yes, there'll be costumes and weapons and chariots from the time of the pharaohs. We have to arrange import formalities, you see. The centrepiece of the whole exhibition will be the mummy of Queen Tuntiti. She was after Tutankhamen, of course.
But I suppose she married someone else. It's always the way.
Quite astounding. There was writing and painting all over her sarcophagus.
That explains it. He didn't like tattooed ladies.
Queen Tuntiti was an empress consort, surrounded by infinite wealth. At her funeral, it took 20 men to carry the bier.
I dare say the climate made everyone thirsty.
What are you talking about, Phil?
I've no idea.
Guess what? It's a nice fresh pot.
tea. Thank you, Mildred.
Mr. Lennox Brown's been telling me all about the exhibition. It sounds very exciting.
Well, I reckon it's a waste of government money. I wish they'd spend it on office equipment. It's a blooming disgrace, the conditions we work in.
Oh, I don't know. I got a new chair last month.
Well, you had to have one, didn't you? I mean, your seat had sagged and your legs were wobbly. But no one bothers about me. I mean, what about that desk of mine?
That hasn't got wobbly legs, has it?
No, they're quite firm, really. Trouble is, there's only 3 of them. And not only that, my drawers are too small for what I have to put in them.
Well, that must be very awkward.
And I can't even get a new typewriter ribbon. I've been told to rub my mascara on the old one.
Ah, now, we did put in for a new typewriter ribbon, Mildred, and the permanent undersecretary agreed.
Yeah, and what did he do when it got here? He gave it to Miss Bentwater in the tarping pool. His little bit of overtime.
You're quite right about the office equipment. We asked for somewhere to hang our coats, and a man came and knocked a nail in the wall.
Not only that, it was a specially long one, so Mr. Crawley next door could use the other end.
Here, talking about old creepy Crawley, have you noticed he's got a nose like a bicycle seat?
Oh, excuse me, gentlemen. May I pop in for what's his name?
Hello, Mr. Crawley. We were just talking about you.
You're right, Mildred. It is like a bicycle seat.
I was wondering if I could borrow some sugar.
Certainly, have a bowl.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Lamb.
Are you busy, Mr. Crawley?
Oh, yes, I am. I've been asked to organise new uniforms and equipment for London's traffic wardens.
Really?
I do admire traffic wardens telling motorists off and sticking rude notes up the what's-his-names.
Yes, well, we mustn't keep you from your work.
I'd better get on or I'll have Sir Gregory chasing me.
I doubt it. He's too busy chasing Daphne Bentwater.
You've got to admit she's a lovely girl. Everything a man could ask for.
And Sir Gregory never stops asking for it.
Daphne, my little lotus blossom. Lovely to hear from you, and what can I do for my precious flower?
Well, you can cut out the soft soap for a start. It's over a week since we had our talk, and you said you'd do something for me. What about it?
What about it? Yeah, good idea. Just pop up to my office
Bunny,
and...
that's not what I mean. You promised you'd help my career, and you've done nothing. I'm still in this wretched typing pool.
Well, these things take a little time, my dear, but Bunny keeps his promises. There aren't any secretary's jobs vacant at the moment, so I'm going to make some changes. I think you do rather well in the General Assistance Office.
How marvellous. That's just down the corridor from you.
Yes, my dear, I'd thought of that, yes. Well, you'll be working for Lennox Brown and Lamb, so there shouldn't be much to do. Of course, it'll mean some shifting around, and, I'm going along today to tell them about it. Just leave it all to me, and don't you worry your pretty little head.
Well, too, I think that's covered the import side, the Egyptian stuffs at London docks. I've just been down to have a look at it.
What's it like?
Astonishing. Especially the golden chariots. They're covered in hieroglyphics.
Oh, I expect it's those wretched seagulls.
Here, Sir Gregory rang. He's on his way to see you. He said it's very important.
Oh, dear. When Sir Gregory starts shouting and screaming, I go all funny.
Never mind, it might make him laugh.
Aha, Lennox Brown, Lamb, you're both here. And you as well, Miss Murphy. Now, that's splendid. I wanted a word with all of you.
Sir Gregory, if it's about that top-secret file, I think it's quite possible it might turn up.
Oh, don't fret, Lamb. I expect it can wait a little longer. We've managed without it for 18 months. You know, it's Miss Murphy I mainly have news for. I've been watching your progress in the years you've been with us. I've noticed your diligence and general alacrity.
I'm sorry, sir. I'll try not to do it again.
Miss Murphy, I want you to leave this office and take up another post.
Leave this office? Go somewhere else? But I couldn't, sir.
Why not?
Well, Mr. Lennox Brown here, he's like a father to me.
Thank you, Mildred.
And Mr. Lamb, well, he's like a big sister. I mean, I couldn't walk out on them. It would be disloyal. I'll never leave them. Never.
But it's promotion, Miss Murphy. More money.
Oh. When do I start?
That's the spirit. You must leave the past behind. Broaden your horizons. You'll be an executive.
One moment, Sir Gregory. Miss Murphy mustn't be rushed into this.
Perhaps she doesn't want to leave her horizons and broaden her behind.
We have to consider her long-term future, you see, her peace of mind. Besides, who'd make the tea?
Well, there'll be a replacement, of course. I'd advise there's a young girl in the typing pool, Miss Bentwater, I believe her name is, who's ripe for promotion.
Miss Bentwater, I want to write to the director of the British Museum. How's your shorthand?
Shorthand? Is that the funny squiggly writing?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, I think I can manage that.
Good. Now take this down. Dear sir, this will confirm that all exhibits...
Oh, hang on, I haven't got a pencil.
You'd better borrow mine.
Oh, thanks.
Are you ready now?
Yes.
Now then. Dear sir, this will confirm that all items for the Egyptian exhibition will be installed at the museum by 0900 hours on Monday the 24th. Yours, etc., D. Lennox Brown. Have you got that?
Almost. What came after, dear sir?
Oh, glory. All right, Miss Bentwater, just forget the whole thing.
Look, why don't we have a nice cup of tea?
Oh, lovely. Not too strong for me, and just one lump.
No, Miss Bentwater. We want you to make the tea.
Oh, all right, then. I'll be back in an hour.
Oh, I hope she uses a teapot this time. Last week she made it in the kettle. I can't think why Sir Gregory is so keen on her. He comes in 20 times a day.
I'll explain when you're older, too.
I came back for my umbrella yesterday evening and found them both on the floor.
Good grief. Well, what did they say?
Sir Gregory said she'd fallen off her platform shoes and he was giving her the kiss of life.
Odd girl. I've heard some astonishing stories about her. I'm told she ran away from school.
Oh, lots of girls run away from school.
Yes, but she ran away with the headmaster. No wonder her mother's worried about her.
Oh, has she been ringing up again?
Never stops. Why was Daphne late last night? What's going on in that office?
What do you say?
Well, what can I say? I tell her she's obliging Sir Gregory. The General Assistance Department, Lennox Brown.
It's Mrs. Bentwater here.
Good afternoon.
Now, there's no call for all that smarmy talk. I know your sort, thank you very much. What's me daughter doing?
Well, I asked her to take something down for me, but I'm afraid she was rather slow.
What?
She's having trouble adjusting to this new position.
You villain! You're as bad as the picking. I know your sort, all pinstriped and po-faced. But get an innocent girl in your office and it's all hands and suggestions.
Now, look here, madam.
Don't you try and deny it, you letter. Tell Daphne I want her home by 6 o'clock sharp. Get it?
Got it.
Good.
Oh, this is impossible, too. Rung up and abused at my own desk.
Everything's gone wrong since we lost Mildred. I wonder how she's getting on in her new office.
Well, Miss Murphin, here you are in all your glory, eh? Oh, I must say, you've got a lovely room.
Mind you, there are snags to being an executive.
Oh? What sort of snags?
Well, to start with, I don't like to get here till 11:30. It wouldn't look right.
Well, is that a snag?
Yeah. Mum turns me out the house at 8:30.
Well, still, it's nice when you get here, isn't it?
And another thing, I've got ever such a lot of work to do.
But you can't have. You're an executive.
But only an acting junior one. I've not yet been given immunity. Anyone wants anything done, they get on to me.
Well, I know what you mean. They said when I've settled this traffic warden stuff, I have to send you an action form.
Oh, everyone's sending me action forms. I'm snowed under.
They miss you in your old office. Miss Bentwater's driving them potty, and Sir Gregory's always in there. Oh, it's sending them right up the what's-his-name.
Come.
Sorry to interrupt. I know you're busy.
It's all right. We've finished the crossword.
I wondered when you're going to have lunch.
Well, that's the third time you've asked that, Miss Bentwater.
Well, it's almost 12:30.
I shan't bother with lunch today. I only finished breakfast an hour ago.
Oh, dear. Mr. Lamb, you'll be going out for lunch, won't you?
No, I'll eat in the office. My landlady packed me some bread sandwiches.
Sandwiches letters aren't enough for an active man like you.
You seem agitated, Miss Bentwater.
Agitated? What makes you think that?
Well, you put your lipstick in my coffee cup and you're painting your lips with a teaspoon.
Is my little puppet there, all ready and waiting for me?
Yes, Sir Gregory, I'm here.
What the devil? Why haven't you and Lamb gone to lunch, Lennox Brown?
Well, if I'm to be honest, sir, I'm a little short of money.
Oh, good heavens, I can't have my staff missing their food for something as trivial as cash. Here, take this, Lennox Brown. I'll treat you to lunch.
20 pence, Sir Gregory.
I was always a fool with money. And now, goodbye, Lennox Brown. I don't want to lose you, but I think you ought to go.
I can't afford lunch either.
Then go for a nice healthy walk in the park. Now go, get up, both of you, go.
You're ever so masterful, Bunny.
Yes, that's true. Well, my dear, we got a place to ourselves. A chance to escape this mundane world for a few brief moments of ecstasy.
Do you think we should?
Yes.
But what if Mummy rings up again? She says if she catches us together, she'll write to the Sunday paper.
Oh, don't let your mother spoil an hour of innocent fun. And tonight you can come to my flat for a bite.
Oh, lovely. Will I get something to eat as well?
That infernal thing. I suppose I'd better answer it. Hello?
So you're in there. That's the Gregory, isn't it?
Call blimey, no. This is the hall porter, the all porter. So it is. It's truth.
I want to speak to Sir Gregory Pritchard.
Well, I'm out. He's out. Call Lover Duck. Stone the flipping crows.
Well, you tell Sir Gregory from me that if I catch him hanging round my daughter, I'll come up there and ruin his prospects.
Oh, very good. Yes, I'll tell him you rang. Not off, I won't.
That was Mummy, wasn't it?
Yes, you're right, Daphne. She's beginning to come between us. Lucky we're getting away for the weekend.
Are we?
What didn't I tell you? I've booked us a couple of days in Paris at the Hotel Splendide.
The Hotel Splendide?
That's right. Yeah. I've taken the Napoleon suite so we shan't be disturbed. Look, here's the hotel brochure. You can see how luxurious it is.
Oh, it's beautiful. Cocktail bar, coloured fountain.
And that's only the lift.
But if Mummy found out, she'd kill us both.
Yes, I believe she would. However, I've had an idea for dealing with Mummy.
I tell you, too, I can't put up with that Bentwater girl much longer. Look how she's typed this letter. It starts, Dead Sir.
I asked her for the confidential file, and she said she was using it on her nails.
Good morning, you two. Now, I have an urgent problem.
I'm sure Miss Bentwater will help, sir, but she isn't here at the moment.
No. This is a matter for you. It concerns Miss Bentwater's mother. She's become a blasted nuisance, ringing up every 5 minutes with threats of scandal and physical violence.
Indeed, sir.
Well, she seems to think there's something going on between me and her daughter. In fact, of course, my only concern is to develop the girl's potential.
It's quite well developed already, sir.
Be quiet, lad. I need Miss Bentwater to accompany me on business trips. She's extremely fast and obliging. But she always says Mummy wouldn't like it.
Very tricky, sir.
Well, I've had enough. I want you to do something about Mummy.
Contact the mafia?
Oh, don't be absurd. Don't be absurd. We don't know their address. No, I want you to send her away.
Send her away? But where?
Anywhere. The further the better. Just get her off my back. Give her a holiday. I'll pay, of course.
You will, sir?
Well, it'll come out of ministry expenses. That's almost the same thing. So I shall be away myself this weekend, so I'm off now to find my baggage.
She's making the tea, sir.
What did you say, Lamb?
My colleague asked if you'd like a cup of tea, sir.
Oh, no time, Lennox Brown. I'll be back early next week.
Where on earth can we send Mrs. Bentwater?
Oh, just a minute. Someone's left a brochure on the desk. Hotel Splendide, Paris.
What a good idea. We'll send her there. Oh, Sir Gregory will be pleased. He said the further the better, and there's nowhere further than Paris.
Yeah. It says on the front, the height of luxury, book the Napoleon suite. Oh, that ought to suit her.
But how can we persuade her to go?
Now, I have rather a brilliant idea on that. Now, let me see, what's her number, I wonder? Oh. Hello, General Assistant Department, Lennox Brown.
Mrs. Bentwater here.
Oh, how fortunate, madam. Yes, I was just about to ring you. I have good news.
Oh, yes?
You're a very lucky lady. Yes, you've won first prize in the civil service raffle.
But I didn't buy a ticket.
That just shows how lucky you are. Yes, your prize, Mrs. Bentwater, is a weekend holiday in a smart hotel. Our car will pick you up tomorrow.
Oh, this is a surprise.
Your weekend will be full of surprises. Everything's taken care of, and the driver has full details.
Well, thank you very much, I'm sure.
Not at all. Enjoy yourself. Goodbye.
It worked, One. Well done.
Thank you, too. I suppose one has a certain flair, you know. Yes. Now, come on. There are bookings to be made, card to be ordered, and so on. Mildred does that sort of thing now, so send her an action form.
Yes.
Oh, and remind her to contact the British Museum. The Egyptian stuff will go there tomorrow, ready for Monday's opening.
Couldn't you do that, One?
No. I'm off on a long weekend in the country. Yeah, with my friends, the Smedley Burkes, you know. Yes. Well, I'm sure you can cope, too. Of course. See you on Monday.
He's having a long weekend, all right. It's only Thursday morning. Oh, well, a note to Mildred about Miss Bentwater's mother. Now then, Mummy giving trouble, must be sent to Paris at once. Hotel Splendide if possible.
Morning, Mr. Lennox Brown. Did you have a nice weekend with your friend, Mr. Smelly Burke?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Crawley. And actually, it's Smedley Burke.
Oh, well, I knew it was some Burke. I've just been talking to Mildred Murphy, and she seems to be helping everyone. She organised my traffic warden's equipment, and she handled my what's-his-name.
Indeed.
Oh, and she's done some jobs for your office. She asked me to give you these counterfoils.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, well, here's my door. See you later.
Not if I see you first. Now then, how did Mildred get on? Good grief.
My man, did you enjoy your weekend? Oh, you obviously didn't. You've gone all white and your moustache is drooping.
It's these counterfoils. Those jobs you gave to Mildred.
What is it, man? Your glasses have steamed up.
Look at this. She's mixed up the mummies.
Mixed up the mummies?
She sent the mummy of Queen Tum-Titty to Paris instead of Miss Bentwater's mummy.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. Is that all you've got to say? The exhibition opens today. There'll be VIPs and TV cameras. Queen Tum-Titty's mummy is supposed to be the central attraction, and it isn't there. We've got under an hour to find a substitute. Oh, hello, Lennox Brown.
Mrs. Bentwater here. What's happened to my free holiday?
Oh.
A car come for me Friday, like you said.
Yes.
Well, it was more of a van, really. And it brought me to the British Museum. I've been stuck here ever since, in a section marked Ancient Relics. What's going on?
There's been a slight error, but please stay where you are. I need your help.
Stay at the museum? What for?
I'll give you the details when I get there. Suffice to say, this is a real emergency, and I want you to become a mummy.
I beg your pardon?
I'm desperate, madam.
How dare you?
I'd like you to lie down, that's all. It won't take long. Just to keep the VIPs happy.
You're raving mad, you are. You want to be locked up.
Oh, I don't think she's going to cooperate. There's only one thing for it, too. You'll have to pose as the mummy.
Yes, there we go. What? Me? I could never be a mummy.
Well, nothing's impossible if you really try. Quick, go and get lots of bandages from the first aid cupboard. I'll order the ministry car. There isn't a moment to lose.
Well, viewers, as you've probably gathered, this is Forth Robinson here, and I'm at the British Museum for the newly opened Egyptian exhibition. Beside me in a glass case lies the main attraction, the mummy of Queen Tum-Titty. A truly remarkable sight, this ancient yellow face recalling time long past. Well, I have with me Mr. Deryck Lennox-Brown, one of the exhibition organisers. Mr. Lennox-Brown, one thing surprises me about this strange old queen.
What? The mummy, yes. Something surprises you?
Yes, the binding is somewhat loose just there, and through the gap it looks rather as though the queen wears pinstripe trousers.
Yes, that's right. Yes. Perhaps it's not generally known that pinstripe trousers originated in ancient Egypt.
Really? Well, viewers, there are several surprising features to the show. For instance, there's an extensive display of ancient Egyptian costumes. But I must say, in all honesty, they look very like traffic wardens' uniforms.
Mildred, how could you? There are mile-long queues outside the museum, and the inside looks like a traffic warden's cloakroom.
I'm ever so sorry, sir. I must have got your forms mixed up with Mr. Crawley.
And what about Mr. Lamb? Having to lie in that case 9 hours a day. I just hope he's cut down his morning tea.
He'll be all right, sir. I expect he'll fall asleep like he does in the office.
And that priceless mummy sent to some French hotel? If Sir Gregory ever found out, he'd go berserk.
Don't move! Anyone!
Oh, hello, Sir Gregory. Did you have a nice weekend?
Nice weekend? I went to the best hotel in Paris and found an Egyptian mummy in my bed.
Good grief. You mean you were it was your hotel?
I pulled back the bedclothes, and there it was, staring with ice-cold eyes.
Oh, never mind, Sir Gregory. That white hair suits you.
Be quiet, Lennox-Brown. Has the whole department gone mad? You put traffic warden stuff on display at the museum.
People may not notice, sir. They're being made to stand well back.
Never mind that. If the traffic warden's uniforms went to the Tum Titty exhibition, what the blazes are the traffic wardens wearing?
And here is the news read by John Curl. London's traffic wardens were on the streets today with revolutionary new uniforms and equipment. They wore golden helmets and short cotton tunics. And when accosting motorists, most began by showing their credentials. Notebooks have been replaced by papyrus scrolls and parking tickets by stone tablets. Persistent parking offenders will get one tablet 3 times a day. Experts say the traffic warden's new style seems to be ancient Egyptian. It's thought this may help the wardens to control all the tooting carmen.
Oh, thank heavens you're back in our office, Mildred.
I'm not cut out to be an executive.
And Miss Bentwater's not cut out to be a secretary. She's much happier back in the typing pool.
We've got away with it.
You mean we're forgiven for that tum-titty boob?
Yes. Oh, yes, that's outweighed by our other 2 efforts. Recruitment for traffic wardens has trebled in a week.
But what about sending that mummy to Paris?
Oh, that's turned out to be a triumph as well. Yes, the French think we wanted to share our exhibition as a fraternal common market gesture. So all our problems are over.
Oh, how splendid.
We were in real trouble there, you know. But we thought fast and improvised, and it all worked out.
It just proves what I've always said, Mum.
What's that?
Necessity is the mummy of invention.
On exhibition as the men from the ministry were Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. Also featured were Norma Ronald, Ronald Baddiley, John Graham and Hilary Pritchard. The programme was written by Edward Taylor and John Graham and produced by Edward Taylor.